Richikowski. Some things have certainly been completed in our city. New school buildings, recreation center, park system, library, Maloney School, Butterworth Building, excellent landscapes, streetscapes all over the city, new hotel. Do you acknowledge these projects as completed projects?
I think they are completed projects. The things that I'm talking about is when you develop a plan, and you pay for a plan like the downtown plan or the B Village plan or whatever it is, you have got to have some reasonable expectations of what is going to happen. Specifically, what I'm talking about is Patrick Copeland. You know, we tore the building down and we're growing grass. The bluffs, not questioning whether it should have been torn down or not, but we're growing grass. Where is the end game to anything that we are doing? And in the last few years, we have no end game. We have no plan as a city. We have no plan as city council. And that's just a function of city council. It's not a function of any individual person. We have got to formulate a business plan that's realistic, that is obtainable, and that we can show success to people that are outside Hopewell looking at us. Yeah, we've done some things. The question is, what are we going to do now? Because people think that we say we're going to do things and we don't do them. So we have got, if we want people to come to Hopewell, we want families to move here, businesses to move here, we've got to show people that one, we've got a plan, and two, we're going to do it.
Thank you. Mr. Harris. Everyone keeps referring to investing in downtown Hopewell. What kinds of investments are you looking for, and why was a hotel investment for downtown Hopewell turned down by the current council?
I guess I get caught up when you start talking about downtown Hopewell. When I think about the ethanol plant, I think that's a great mistake. It's coming, but it's still, I think it was a bad mistake. And the reason I learned it was a bad mistake because we had a hard time. The citizens came and showed the council members that they didn't want that. Then 4 of the 3 members of the council voted to do it. Therefore, I'm thinking that we ought to always pay attention to what the citizens said and what they want. And I believe that the city of Hopewell, downtown, is going to be benefited. However, we're going to have a hard time getting other businesses in the downtown Hopewell now that we have an ethanol plant so close to downtown Hopewell.
Thank you. Mr. Emerson. A large proportion of the residential base in Hopewell is rental. Unfortunately, many of the owners and tenants are not motivated to do the absolute minimum to maintain these properties, and they become a blight on their neighborhoods. What would you do as a counselor to turn the situation around?
Well, there's too high a percentage in Hopewell, but I believe that if you want to rent your house, you can do that. But they should have rules that they need to follow so that those houses are maintained so that it's you don't spot lose the homeowner. And we have ordinances that cover that, but they're not being enforced. I think that if we have a program where we work with these landlords that own 100, 200, 300 houses and they're renting the bottom street, they're renting them. I think we work with a program with them to qualify who's renting them. We work with them on contracts. And this could go through the Commonwealth's Attorney's Office to have a program because it benefits us all if we get people in those rental houses that don't have a criminal record. They have an obligation to take care of that house like they're an owner of that house. So it's a great potential for us to improve that. And I think working with the police and the county attorney's office, we can probably do that.
Thank you. Mr. Adler, what are your thoughts on the ethanol plant to dump daily 186,000 gallons of wastewater in our river? Is that considered going green?
Well, considering that wastewater has temperature issues, mineral byproducts and chemical byproducts, I'm not sure that's 100% going green. It probably is no surprise to a lot of people sitting here that I was not a proponent for this ethanol plant, but not necessarily for reasons that might have been obvious. I felt that the ethanol plant was, in its decisions by council, poorly investigated. The ethanol plant sitting on top of downtown, in the history of the Midwest ethanol plants, there was only one ethanol plant that I found in my research that ever was located in a downtown, and that closed after a year because of problems with proximity. Additionally, my concern was to the health of the citizens with the over 400 tons of toxic chemicals that are going to be coming out, and with how it might impact our existing plants. There is something called the Clean Air Act, which gives us a ceiling of how much our existing plants can put out in toxins. And when we are put into non-attainment, it takes about 2 years for the EPA to actually give us that designation. And what we have is, here's the ceiling that we can't meet today. The ethanol plant comes in and takes this much out of it. Then our existing plants, which give more tax dollars and more jobs, cannot meet the even lower amounts.
Thank you. Mr. Harris, what is your opinion on the proposed plan for V Village renovation and revitalization?
I believe that the V Village program will put it back. We put it up to the top, and now it is down to the bottom. And I think it's a great mistake. I believe that the development of the program would be a great enhancement to the city of Hopewell, and especially to the waterfront.
Thank you. Mr. Adler, what is your vision for the future of Hopewell's parks and green spaces? How would you improve any or all?
I certainly believe the parks and green spaces are a needed aspect of any town. As a city of 11 square miles, we currently have about 24 parks in the city. And I am a proponent of parks as long as we as a city can take care of them. We have one that is nearby at Heritage Gardens that is a beautiful park, but the city does not have the funds to man it and to keep it open for the citizens to enjoy. So I'm not a proponent of continuing to expand green space and parks unless we can afford to maintain them and that they are for the good of the citizens. And while citizens enjoy parks, if they're not maintained with grass cuttings or irrigation or manning so that we can have those facilities and the garbage doesn't go all over and it becomes an area for drug deals or aspects that we don't want to see in our parks, then we do not need to keep expanding on the current number of parks that we have in the city.
Thank you.